what's that Facebook page again?
The Facebook page.
Oh, Two Wheels for Freedom.
Yeah,
Okay,
there you
I got
go.
it. I looked it up earlier. That's why. Yeah.
We should be, well, we're recording. I don't know that we're live yet. There we go. Facebook's picking it up now. So, everybody, we are here with the Two Wheel Tuesday podcast with Bubba from Crusty Demons of Dirt.
Woo! What's going on?
Now it's now we're going live.
I'm just it's yeah, it's spinning and trying. I'm trying to get just your link to send it over.
Well, it should pop up now because we are live.
Should pop up on your page, right? I should be seeing it right now on your page.
Yeah,
Two Wheels.
Two Wheels of Freedom Facebook page. Should be
There we
seeing the
go.
link for this live broadcast of Two Wheel Tuesday podcast. Nick double booked himself, so he's not here. It's just Bubba and I.
Yeah, cool. That's all
Everybody,
right.
that's right. Everybody knows Bubba. Anybody that's been into freestyle at all in the last whatever since Krusty came out knows Bubba.
Yeah, well, I'm not a freestyler, but we're a big part of the of making the industry. That's for sure.
Now I
So
know somebody that raced Supercross and stuff in the '90s, and when freestyle started happening, I started getting into it. He's like, "Yo, Bubba is just—he's the suspension guy from Florida. He's like the race tech guy or something."
dude, no, that's true, man. I used to I used to want the first how I got out to California was I went out and I worked at Race Tech for a little bit, not very long, and I wasn't really good or anything. I just kind of just helped out racers and stuff like that. It just kind of kept me busy because the guy that brought me out there, or not brought me out there, but that I was working with was Brian Manley. Okay, and he old pro motocrosser,
Oh yeah,
and obviously one of the OG freestyle motocrossers as well. And that's how I got into race tech, and that's how I know Terry Varner and all those other guys from that industry way back in the day. This is over 25 years ago, bro. No, like a couple years before the first Krusty. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah, that was it. That's how I got out to California. You know, and
But you're a Florida guy.
yeah, no. I'm a Virginia guy. I'm from
Oh, okay.
Virginia originally, and then my parents moved down here. Then I would come down here for the winter. You know how that goes to ride dirt bikes. Before they moved down here, we still lived in Virginia, and then I'd go back and forth, and then eventually they moved down here, and when they moved down here, I moved to California. So um, I'm gonna put this link up real quick. Uh,
Yep.
so, but that's how that started. I mean, yeah, race tech. No, it was all I worked in the dirt bike industry, man, and that's kind of how it all started. And I was, me and Brian Manley were the motocross part of the snowboarders. Dana Nicholson, John Freeman, all those guys that were doing snowboarding flicks. You know what I mean? And those
Right.
were hardcore. Um, uh, I'm putting this link up, but I don't see our post up there. So it's on that link, right? It's in that link. What we're doing right
Uh,
now.
that link I sent you, I'm not sure if that thing
No,
works.
no, the Two Wheels of Freedom Facebook. I'm just
Yeah,
copying the
yeah, it should be up on that page.
I didn't see it, but I'm link for live.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I'm not even sure.
Well, okay. Well, there you go. Well,
There you go. Here, listen.
there we
This
go.
is this is the podcast. We drink beer, and we don't know what the
Yeah,
fuck we're doing.
I got me a vodka diet cran.
I got tequila, water, lime.
Ooh, ooh. No, no, that's the way to do it. It just I can't drink like that anymore, man.
What do you mean you're drinking vodka soda?
Oh, I know, but that's I'm weak, man. You know, So
So then what happened? You
yeah,
guys,
yeah. Well, I went out to California, and they lived in like a Melrose Place complex. You know, the snowboarders upstairs, Manly downstairs, and all that. And we would go out to the desert and stuff like that, and they would film some stuff, kind of like they would do with extreme snowboarding. You know what I mean?
right.
And then it would start to be all the pro motocrossers went, Emig, you know, all a bunch of names. You know what I mean? McGrath. The list goes on. There's so many names. All the pro motocrossers out there, because they would go out to the deserts and just have fun. You know,
Right.
that was
Yeah,
the thing.
holiday weekends and stuff, right?
No, totally, yeah, or just for fun and camp out and party and all that kind of stuff. So that was uh, that was the deal, and they kind of had this idea. Dana Nicholson and John Freeman, by the way, I'm going to have to give them credit on that because that's their deal on coming up with this. Brian Manley and a couple other people as well, but um, you know, filming what the antics of what went on out in the desert, what went out on a ride day, a weekend, whatever it was. It wasn't just riding; it was campfires, it was partying, it was you know fireworks, it was shooting guns, it was fucking drinking, it was you know what I mean.
Right.
So it was a good time. You know, it was a good time. And us growing up on the East Coast, man, we didn't have we don't have deserts, man.
No.
You know, we didn't have those, so it was cool to go out to Akatula Wells, Dumont Dunes, Willamette, and some other places, and just see what they had. If you grew up in Southern California, man, and you went riding, you know, there's so many people that are weekend warriors that just go out with that grew up with their parents in a motorhome and go and ride in the desert on the weekends. You know what I mean? Like everyone does. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, you know, that was cool. You know, we grew up riding motocross tracks. That's all we had.
Right.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. Motocross tracks, and they weren't even open during the week back then. It was only race to race, right? So, anyways,
Maybe
that's
a
kind of how.
quarry. In
Uh,
Virginia, you guys had to have quarries or something too, right?
I lived in Northern Virginia, so I raced District 7, so that's Maryland, Virginia, Delaware, Pennsylvania, and then I did a lot of all the state of Virginia, which is District 13 as well. So
Right.
and back in the day, so all those tracks. So I lived in Northern Virginia, so all those tracks, you know, like Budds Creek was close. Quasco, remember Quasco? You probably don't remember Quasco,
No. I've ridden Buds a couple times. See, I
right,
lived in New Jersey. I live in New Jersey. That's where I
right.
grew up racing. So,
Yeah,
um,
I never went. I never went east. I went north and south, but I never went east. I never been to Englishtown. Never been.
no.
Grew up reading about it though. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Um,
Yes. So
all right. So,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Out there, definitely free riding. They don't realize what a sick setup they have as far as just even the mountains to shovel lips into. You know, it's mountain hills
Right.
aren't steep enough here to be able to shovel a lip in it and make like a cool jump.
Not typically. I mean, if you've seen how they do it and what some of those riders can do with what they have or what is done, they can figure out a lot more stuff back east. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Our
you're as
hills
good
are
as you
all
go.
rocks and trees.
What's that? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
when you grow, I mean, there's a little bit of everything, man. Down here in Florida too. You know, there's some good free riding, but as for shoveling hits and stuff like that, there's just certain spots. That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not the desert, man. It's not the hills. It's not the mountains.
Right.
You know, it's different stuff, man. Not that. Bubba, where can I find the podcast? I don't fucking know. I don't know. So people are fucking on top of me right now, trying to find out where to find this.
Two
But
Wheels to Freedom Facebook page.
okay, okay, freedom. Let me freedom Facebook page.
Two
Okay.
Wheels to Freedom Facebook page.
I just posted the link, but I click on the link and anyways, I'm not gonna deal with it. So right now, well, I can't, man. We gotta
Yeah.
do this. So it's all good. I like people that like write in because I know Hartman, my boy Hartman from California. You know, he used to start at Utopia Optics and a few other things. He wanted to call in a riddle. You know, people were saying they wanted a riddle. You know what I mean? But That's all right. So yeah. So I mean, the first time I went out to the desert, I remember going out. I remember we pulled into the desert. It was dark, so I didn't see what was, what was around me. And then we woke up in the morning, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is a fucking playground
Yeah.
for dirt bikes and off-road vehicles or whatever it is." There's a lot of sand, there's a lot of things out in the desert, sand buggies, trucks, ATVs, all kinds of cool stuff. But just moto enthusiasts, desert, desert people. They're it's a different breed, but yeah. So that was cool, and then we would go to different places after we eventually got started filming for the movie. So you would have to get footage, man. So you would have to go to different places,
Right.
um, and acquire footage. And then after the movie started, you kind of, you pick where you're going that year. Peru, Chile. I mean, Dominican Republic, Japan. A couple segments that you would take dirt bikes to and make a movie, and that's a whole different thing that we got to get onto. Is Crusty Demons, Flesh Wound Films. Um, how that was started and how that was created. Free riding, and then you go out filming, and it turned into film trips instead of free riding. I mean, it's still
Right.
free riding, but
Yeah.
it's a film trip, and all that stuff you would document all year for a 1 hour movie at the end of the year, with 3 months editing, 3 years or so, and that's how it worked. So that's a lot of work. That was a lot of work, but you had to put all that stuff together.
So did you edit as well?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was kind of at first. John Freeman was the guy that pushed the buttons. Dana, we'd sit next to him. We'd give him shots, and you give him ideas. You give him. Everyone had to work together. Okay, I was the guy. I worked. I clocked in. I worked. I took all the footage that we would film, or everyone would film, and put it onto a tape, a big beta tape, so we could edit off of. So I would ingest all this footage so we could work with later, right? So in ingesting that footage, you'd have to log that footage. So I knew all the footage. So that's why I was important with editing. As for getting the shots and stuff like that, I don't know. I learned how to do that stuff. I wasn't a computer guy. I wasn't a movie guy. But what I did was I learned. I learned how to do it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, back in the day, it wasn't computer software like we have now. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah. So it was reel to reel. So we built movies a whole different way than you do on a computer nowadays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With the editing, Final Cut Pro or whatever editing software you had, that was another transition. About 4, 5, 6 movies in, and then onward. You know what I mean? As for going from reel to reel, big tapes that you would go real big tapes, big expensive tapes. These machines, they cost 50 grand. We had 4 of them. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
had to keep them all working because you would put here, you have to take one shot from here. And that's the way it was making movies back then. You know what I mean? Um, but one thing about making a movie shot by shot is you learn the essence of making a movie. So you got a feel for stuff, and you got a feel for making a movie. So when the computers came in, you kind of had the idea. You just got to figure out how to push the button. You know what I mean? To make it do what you want. You know what I mean? So, you sending me pictures of myself.
I send you a link. Yeah, that's the live stream. That's the
Okay.
link. Share
So,
that link.
Okay, cool. I don't mean to cut everyone off, but man,
No, you got fans and they want to see. See? See, son?
Oh shit!
You're live right now.
Yeah. All right. See, that's cool because that's kind of what I wanted to do. Was if someone wanted to chat or say something or like whatever,
Yeah, I agree. It's all good.
I
We
mean-
normally try to go for like an hour and a half anyway. If we don't go that long, that's fine. But it's like we should be able to figure it out and get people in here.
Yeah, it's that's what's cool about what we do. And I've done another one, a local guy that does shows, and that's what's cool about it. You just kind of do your thing. You know what I mean? Is
Yeah,
you don't have fucking people behind you and editors and fucking producers and shit yelling at you with headsets on. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Okay, let me get this link real quick, and then we'll get back into it.
Link it up.
Um, yeah, my computer is so fucking gay right
No
now
worries.
because we're doing this. Yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So I'll do some ads anyway because I was supposed to should have done them at the beginning of the show. This podcast, as
yeah,
always,
do that while I do this.
all
Okay.
right, is brought to you by Stroker Industries. Stroker makes the Trigger, which is a push button gas nozzle for your fuel jug, so you don't have to try and pull the rubber hose out while there's still gas in it and fling it around. They also make Spit Shine, which is silicone spray, protectant spray for your bike, or you can spray it up under the fenders, right? If it's muddy. He's not listening, but you can, and it'll help the mud come off. And
I'm listening to you. That's pretty cool, dude.
and
Um,
it's also brought to you by Emotocons. Do you have an iPhone or you got a flip phone?
a flip phone, huh? You think I'm that
What do
old?
you what do you got?
I got me a Samsung. I can't use an iPhone. I am that old. So
Well, I don't have the emojis for Androids, but if you got an iPhone, you can get Emotocons, which
oh
is
really?
motocross emojis for your phone.
Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, my computer is gay right now. Just totally penis sword fight. Since we're doing this,
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I to try to send an email on my other screen, it just ain't happening. It it's
it
crazy.
won't even
Just spinning
share.
wheels, huh?
It won't share.
It just spinning, man. You know what I
Uh,
mean? Like
well, then just let it
I'm trying
go.
to.
Let's talk and just let it go, and eventually that thing should go through.
Well, yeah, but I don't know why. I'm it's doing shit I've never seen.
Don't
That's what.
worry. Yeah, my computer, once I do set all this
So,
up, it's pretty much maxed out.
a drink.
If I were to pick my phone up and
Fuck.
if I were to put my phone back on Wi-Fi, it would shut the whole thing down. Uh-oh, he locked up. He seized and went over the bars. No show last week was off. Danny Dwayne is pissed. But he drank beer anyway. That's a true fan of the show. That's what I like to hear. Good job, Danny. Um, I mean, if we can't get Bubba back, you might have to call in, Nick. Alright. This is the problem with live streaming. Then it's a pain in the ass. Try and start over again. Oh, it should be on the same channel. I'll be back. Let me figure Bubba out and then we'll be back. It's good that we're recording.
Hey, that link still works for where we're on right now, right? Yeah. Because I shut my other screen off. I fucking just got you. Yeah. It's all. Boom. Here we go. That
We're
was it.
back up.
Yeah. I've never had that happen before ever.
Well,
I'm on a Mac. What are you on?
yeah,
PC?
I'm on a Mac.
Okay.
Same
Cool.
thing.
Right on. Well, listen, dude. Let's just get through with this. Let's. I don't know what happened there, but it's people could still catch on if they want, right? On that same link,
Yeah.
and then we'll just go. We'll just go.
Yep.
So, fuck. Look, I'm glad you told me to make a cocktail.
Yeah. Hey, listen, don't you watch Supercross Live or Race Day Live? They have issues all the time.
Yeah, no, no, no,
It's
totally.
the
No, no,
internet,
I
man.
get it. No, I get it. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Trust me. I think this whole webisode stuff, even with the Facebook, is kind of weird sometimes. You know what I mean? Um, but right on. No, we're back. We're back.
We're
So
back.
and I don't have all that other bullshit running too. So my shit ain't gonna lock up right now. So,
There you go.
anyways, there you
All
go.
right. So yeah, you got involved with Brian Manley and the Krusty guys early on, and
Yeah.
besides editing, you were kind of the mascot for the brand, or you know what I mean, like a character for the brand, I'd
Well,
say.
yeah, like maybe me and Seth. You know what I mean? I was definitely a character, one of the characters. Um, we came up. John Freeman came up, or Dana Nicholson, excuse me, came up with a Bubba skit. You know what I mean? Um, but that's a funny fat redneck skit. But that was one of the big things for me. But another thing, and not too many people know this, is that I worked in the studio. I helped make move. I mean, I helped from them. I mean, learned from the masters, John and Dana, on how to make a movie and what to do. But they got me in the creative mode. They pushed me the right way. They a lot of the segments, a lot of the places that we went to, a lot of the places that we filmed. Um, like I would scout it out and say, okay, we could do this, this, and this, and then you sell it to John, and you know what I mean, sell it to Dana. Okay, Malibu segment. We were doing a Malibu segment. We wanted. I said, okay, Malibu, beautiful ocean, mountain, and the mountains in the background. What can we do? Oh, I found a house. Let's jump a house, jump a road afterwards, jump two roads down, and then pan out to the ocean. Boom, shot. That was awesome.
Is
We made
that
it
not
happen.
where Tommy Lee was?
That was his house too. That was the next. That was one of the. That's the next. That's right up the road. Yeah, but that too. I went out with the guy, local guy, redneck with a tractor, and built those jumps at Tommy Lee's house. Right next to his house, which is his property. Um, and that was back when he was Pam A, and the kids would come out, and it was pretty cool because the kids like the tractors, and we were building a couple of days. I was building, a hit, and it was a nice size hit, and that's where your New Jersey boy Werner, you remember, that guy Werner,
Yeah.
yeah, he
Cal
he
Werner.
busted his ass. Werner from New Jersey, he busted his ass. God bless him. I saw his name come up on I think Instagram or something a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, and I remember him. Yeah, he was out there filming one of Feist's buddy, and he busted his ass at Tommy Lee's house. Broke both his legs, so something like that. But anyways, that just
That dude
reminded
could
me of that.
ride.
Huh? Oh, he was a good rider. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was. Yeah, bad luck, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, that's how it works sometimes, isn't it?
Well, we know we've seen it before. This dirt bikes are dangerous, but that's why we love them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, it happens, and it's going to happen to everyone. Anyways, so I mean, just coming up with those kind of ideas. You know what I mean? I got in tune with that, my head, and how to look for stuff. I got ideas, and what I was also taught by John and Dana was when I'm the guy that was transferring the footage. You know what I mean? So when you transfer the footage, you got a lot of crap, a lot of nothing, but then you got a couple little things. So you log it, you double star the shots that you
Yeah.
know that we're going to use. Bam, 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 bam. Face shot, head shot, lifestyle shot, good trick, bad trick, this, that, and the other. You got to log all that shit, man. And it took all year to do that. But that's when you get creative. You learn how to do it because you're looking at that stuff. And then you once you get into the editing process, I don't know if you've ever seen like one of our old. I saw one the other day, one of our old desert segments, and like how we put it together, where there was like it started with music, and then there was dark, and then there was light. There's fireworks, and there's birds coming in, and there's a snake in there. Like all these things coming through, and you're like, wow, it's going with the music. You know what I mean? It's all working together, and that was kind of cool. I thought it was cool to see, but it was also cool to make. You know what I mean? Because and that has a lot to do with John Freeman because he was artsy fartsy like that, and that shot that opening I'm just talked about took days to do. So, anyways, so there's my ramble on that little creative thing, and that's what Krusty was, in the beginning, the first 10, 12, 15 years was that, and then it started getting into contests, and, gay shit, and fucking all kinds of, I don't know. It was just artsy fartsy in the beginning, and like making a movie is like you know, painting something. It's art, man. You make it, and it's the eye, ear, everything hits a beat, a lyric, whatever it was, man. So that's what's cool. That's what the way movies were. Some other movies were like just punk rock, and bam, 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 and that was cool too. Because some of the shots were cool. But what we did in the studio was something a little different, and that was it's part of you. It's part of you. Yeah, it was a part of us. So I don't know if that makes sense to you,
I
but
mean, that definitely, Krusty had a different feeling than everything. I would say that, some other things came out at around the same time, but I think that Krusty was the one that I would attribute with making freestyle.
yeah, well, freestyle as a sport, freestyle as a sport was was created at Seth Enzo's house. I was there. Brian Jordan, a few other guys. Brian Jordan Lofty, he's the one that did it. Um,
Was that the course with Sync and
yeah, that was a course in Vegas for the OG original, where he had a big old cart, but we were all there smoking weed and just drinking beer and doing our thing. And Brian Jordan Lofty, he was genius, man. He just wonderful guy. He had clay on cardboard, and like he said, we're gonna build this, and that was the original OG, was that kind of circle thing where you jump in,
yeah,
jump out.
yeah.
It was pretty genius, and Brian Manley built it, by the way, too. So um, Brian Manley and Kerry Hart's dad, and um, yeah, and it worked perfect. You know what I mean? Until it
Yeah.
grew into other things. This is before ramps, man. It's all dirt,
I
dirt
know
roads.
that course was way sicker and probably used way more dirt than any of these courses have in the last 15 years.
And it looked bitching. It looked bitching. You know what I mean? So that was a success, man. The first ever freestyle, and then it went on to, and I worked with Four Leaf Entertainment too. That went on with the first ever freestyle tour, and that had to do with Brian Jordan as well, and Jimbo Andrews and a few other people that kind of helped gather a promoters group, together, or financiers or whatever it was. Um, before it became a business. You know what I'm saying? Before it became, before it got slutty. You know what I mean? It
Oh
was the
yeah.
bros. It was, you know, creating. You know what I mean? You got to create. You got to create something like, hey, little Johnny, let's go to the dirt bike show. Are they going to be racing? Well, no, they're not actually racing. They're jumping and doing tricks. Well, cool. You know what I mean? So you have to explain it because it wasn't. What is it?
Well, the
It's
thing is
freestyle
that
motocross.
once something like that starts taking off, you know that the people that are pulling the strings, making the money, will soon jump in. But it's not until then. The work has to be put in
Well,
to
work
make the
not
base.
only the work, but the creation, how to create it. You know what I mean? What's going to work? What's going to fail? What's going to? I mean, that there's trial and error, but we were pretty much spot on. You know what I mean on a lot of that stuff. Not just me. There's a group of us, but yeah. So that created a monster. You know what I mean? And a monster in a way that, man, it got. I mean, look at it now, and then once it got into the X Games as well. Now that's contests. Now that's contests, and then that those were the contests. The X Games got onto it, and then remember the Gravity Games got onto it. That was a big thing for the riders. Riders got paid. They got exposure around the world, which at that time was the way you got paid. Was sponsors come up because you got exposure. You got paid good money. I don't think they get that as much as it used to. But
No.
that's none of my business. But that's what it started. Um, X Games did started a lot of cool stuff. Because of what it does. You know what I mean?
I think maybe
Um,
your top couple, but I think that back then in the beginning, well, not the very beginning, but like whatever 5 6 years in, I think that there was a bigger percentage of guys getting really good sponsor deals.
totally. And you know what? I don't think that happens anymore, but maybe a little bit. You know what I mean? Um, but that was life was good for those guys, but they earned it. They earned it. So
Yeah.
and that was a contest. Those were the contests, man. Then we started the spectacle, the Crusty Tour, the Crusty Tour. It wasn't a contest. It was a 3 hour show, and a little bit of everything. Bubba skit, jumping, actors, dancers, whatever it was. Then that was a different, whole nother, gear. Grabbing another gear, maybe even clicking two gears. That was cool because you be more creative. You can be creative, and it was a show. That's when it became a show. You know what I mean? Um, and then also riders that were in the beginning of that got paid. You know what I mean? We got paid, and that's it. Riders nowadays, and I'm not going to say any tours or any names or anything like that. They didn't get paid like we got paid, or not me. Excuse me. The riders got paid because nowadays it's just you know they'll get another one, another rider. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're the OGs, and that's the whole thing about like me. Like I still want to do something with the OGs. You know what I mean? Like the originators. Not there's a lot of names out there, but they're not stars, man. You know what I mean? We made rock stars. Everyone was rock stars, and there's a difference. There's a lot of good riders and a lot of good medals and gold medal guys and all that kind of stuff. But are they rock stars? You know what I mean? There's a difference, and that in the beginning, that's the way it was, and that's cool. That was fun. So, um, but then corporate world takes over, and it's a
Right.
business. And that's the way it's been. But I don't know. I'm not really into it as much as I used to be, but I'd like to be. You don't ever know what's going to happen here in the next year or two on coming back. Everyone. One thing about jumping your dirt bike, you can only jump your dirt bike or be a part of that era for a short window of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to have a trade. You're gonna have to have a skill. You're gonna have to have a job. That's it. Period. I don't care how much money you made in the years that you did it. It's just like a football player. They make good money, but they got to do something else afterwards. I'm not saying they don't. They have money. That's something different. Excuse me. Maybe I shouldn't make that a good analogy, but um, you have to have something. There's got to be a backup plan. You got to go work for your family's business, whatever it is, and then you got to have a backup plan, especially now because you're not making the kind of money that the OGs used to that started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but God bless them, man. They earned it. They freaking earned it. So because they were the originators, and originators, OGs are they're godlike. You know, if you ask me. So
Yeah, there was a lot of good times. I started with like Yoho and Rudy and all those guys. So
yeah, Rio,
um,
I love him to death.
And
Um,
then the Daytona show down there. Did you ever go? You went to that one of the years at least, didn't you?
I'm sure I did, man. It's all blur.
Yeah. So I was around in the beginning with those guys a little bit. Had some good times with Thorny and Jonesy.
Yeah, Thorn Dog, Jonesy. I love Jonesy too. I've yeah, Thorny too. I mean, it was just like even Yoho and everyone is like kind of my East Coast crew that I meet when I come home. You know what I mean? Like right now, I come home, go to Dade City, and hang out with Yoho and I meet Thorny, and then I met Rudy Waller, and then I met a couple other people, and that's the East Coast crew. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So what happened with the East Coast crew? It's different from the California crew because when you're in California, you get to go on trips with us because you're there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But okay, then we would set up some of the East Coast crew, Kenny and Rudy and some other guys. Thorny, I brought Thorny in by the way. I brought Thorny out to California by the way, just 'cause- and he killed it. He fucking killed it. And anyways, they go to we went to Dominican Republic. They went to South America. The East Coast shit that we did. You know what I mean? Or places we went, and places we filmed, Florida,
Yeah.
some other places.
Panama with the Spanish
Panama, yeah, yeah.
flag.
I mean, that kind of stuff was that included the East Coast guys. Which was cool because I'm an East Coast guy and I was down with that. You know what I mean? And like I love Yoho's my best friend. Um, well, he's mad at me right now, but he's my best friend. So, um, you know, uh, we've gone through a lot together. We've been through a lot, and he's we just it's just nothing that's gonna break that. But when you go on the road with people, you know how it is. You get to know them, good and bad, and
Yeah.
for
Oh, I
that,
know.
that
I was on the road with Yoho for a couple years, so
yeah,
I know
um,
Yoho pretty good.
yeah, what he always took care of me. But anyways, when we went on a Flesh Wound Films trip, a Crusty Demons trip, everyone got taken care of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, the way it was, I mean, you didn't really get paid, but what you did was you never went without a meal, you never went without a drink, you never went without a whatever, and then you get in the movie, and then it would come to you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That was different.
No, that was definitely the power of the movie was the exposure of it,
Right, and
and
that was cool to bring new people in. Even Carrie Hart. Carrie Hart used to work at the motor. Excuse me, Carrie Hart used to race. I worked at Beach Omaha in Huntington Beach, California, while I was living in Huntington Beach and then getting into the movie, that kind of stuff. Um, he was our racer at the shop that I worked at, and we brought him in, and then we went filming with him while he was running the Supercross, Daytona Supercross. We came in, we did filmed with him in Florida, and then they hooked up and they went on to other things. So that's Travis Pastrana as well. So, but it all works like that. The best way back then to promote what we did was at the races. You know what I mean? Because that was our clientele. That
right.
was our core market. They kind of went away from that a little bit. It kind of
Yeah.
went mainstream, but not me. I'm a dirt biker. I'm a dirt biker. I'm a fat old man dirt biker, and I'll get behind the gate tomorrow if I have to.
Awesome.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And I have no problems with that. But that's what I grew up doing. A lot of these guys go back to that. You know what I mean. But a lot of the OGs, they're actually all of them were racers. Most of the good ones, at least, that were
Yeah.
pretty fluid on the
Well,
bike. You know what I
here's
mean?
the thing. There wasn't anything they wouldn't have just at that point to have been riding well enough to go in and do freestyle. You had to have been riding races, because that's the only other thing there was. So,
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I guess like a Twitch, maybe a real young kid.
Man, those guys were my little brothers, man. When they were 17 and 18 years old, man. Twitch, Colin Morrison, Adam Pierce, bless him, God bless him, and a couple other guys. But those were the little kids on our
Yeah.
tour. Other guys were a little older, not that much older, but a little older. And yeah, those were our little brothers. And God, look at it. I mean, Twitch is killing it right now. So and good for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, doing his thing, and he don't have to answer to people. He just rides a dirt bike, and there's only a couple handfuls of guys that can do that right now, and that are good enough dirt bikers to pull that off. You know what I mean?
Well, and I mean, I think a lot of it too is the business side of it. Like
Sure.
um, Twitch held it together well enough. Even everybody gets to a point where they probably party too much or do too much of something that they shouldn't. And
We all grow up
for all the
one way or
expectations
another.
of Twitch, he never like he kept it under control really good the whole time and really capitalized on it. And it's like Colin's coming back now, but he had that lull, and
Yeah,
Twitch
good for
never
Colin,
did.
man. How I'm so proud of him, man. I see his posts, and he's just doing wonderful.
Yeah, and
You know
he's
what I
got
mean?
all like what, 5 businesses now?
Yeah, well,
What
good for
the
him. There's a lot to to do with that, but he's clear headed, and that you got to be clear headed, man. We all went through that. We all went through. Dude, I got a zipper down here. I got me a carburetor cleaned 3 years ago. Full quad bypass. I pulled it. I got lucky. I pulled it, but I was unhealthy anyways. But some of these riders, they had different problems, whatever it was. I'm not gonna mention any names. I'm not gonna mention what, but to grow up, you got to pull out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He pulled out of it, and he preaches, and that's because that's what he loves to do. Other people just pull out of it and move on with life. Like everyone else, every other adult. You know what I mean? You got to pull it. You know what I mean? But we are the family, and then you have your real family, and then you have your, you know what I mean? You know, we've been through a lot together. You know what I mean? Everyone. I'm not a writer, so I'm never say that I'll I'm not like them. I'm different. You know what I mean? But I've seen it, and I can respect it. That's all I
Well,
can say.
and you've still been around, like you said, it's still traveling with people and being in
Sure.
a lot of it is the riding, but a lot of it is just being in places that you
Oh,
are
yeah,
totally
seen a lot.
strange, and all you have is your group that you're with.
Totally, and they're your friends too. When you go to different countries and you go on tour, dude, and you're with a handful of guys, and there's 15, 20,000 people screaming for you, man, and you're just like, yeah, you know what I mean? And you're like, fuck, that's cool. That's a, and by the way, that's the best high I've ever had.
Yeah.
Was that? You know what I mean? And I've done some research and development on that, by the way. But I have to say that it's good, and that's what's cool about the OGs, and that's kind of what I've been thinking about the last year or two about coming back and doing some tours. Because what happened was you have to take a break, and you have to go on with life. You have to get a job. You have to do the regular thing, but you can come back to it because there will never be. You're the only OG, OGs in that sport. But OGs and new guys, we can make them stars, right? Bring in the new guy, we make them stars. That's what we did. We made stars. You know that? We made stars. They earned it. They earned every bit of it. But um, when you went traveling with us, when you got in a movie and stuff like that, you were a star. So that's a good thing. You know what I mean? So what you did with it, you know, all of us were a mess at one point in time, but you got to pull it, So
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
all still alive. So most of us, yeah. So
Well,
anyway, that's some of it. I mean, there's so much more. I mean, that's just touring and stuff. I mean, there's so much other things. I mean, my whole thing was just, you know, I, 21 years I've been doing crusty, crusty, 21 years, and as of like I was talking to Dana the other day because we've got some stuff going on for next year. Took a little break. We got some stuff going on for next year, but I was like, man, 21 years, brother. And you being a crusty demon, just being crusty. Not less a couple years doing the race tech and all that other racing stuff before that. There's more years of that too. So that's how old I am, brother. Um, but anyways, it's good to see. That's good to know. That's good to have in your back pocket. You know.
Yeah.
And being an East Coast boy too, so I can appreciate that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Experience, no, you can't beat it.
I'm a redneck from Virginia, man. You know, so I grew up. My first race was Budds Creek, 1982.
Oh shit. Mine was Englishtown '93.
93, right?
Yeah.
93, we were doing the 500 nationals for race day. No, 90, that was 92 actually. But you know, Krusty didn't come out until 95 ish. He started filming a little bit before that. So um, yeah, it was racing. I still like racing, like I said. So, but there's gonna be a right now it's kind of hard for guys to get work jumping a dirt bike. You know what I mean? I've noticed the last
Yeah.
couple of years.
It's gone down.
It's gone down. But that's why I get the idea. I'm like, well, why don't okay? People see all the nitros. They see the crusty. They see the nitros all the time and all that stuff. What's next? You can't do four backflips. You know what I mean? Or
Oh,
maybe
you better not
I
say
should, I
that.
should say that.
You don't say that.
Yeah, don't say that. But so I was like, man, by the way, everything is like I'm so busy on Facebook and so busy. Why don't you guys come back? You're like, man, the OGs would and some new school talent mixed. You know what I mean? And kind of just bring up the next star, just like the way we used to. You know what I mean? But use some of the OGs for more PR. You know what I mean? And selling tickets, putting butts in the seats. But all we do is kiss babies and shake hands. You know what I mean? And then you show then you make the new kid a star. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So that might be here in the near future. So
That'll be sweet because the Krusty Tour was the original, like, badass freestyle motocross tour, I'd say.
it was the original. Wayne McNabb from Perth, Australia. Chris Foreman was one of his. They started the Krusty Tour. And then after a while, it grew into such a monster that promoters took it over and they fell to the wayside. Some of them did, but the riders. If you think about it like this, that no matter what we do, it was even filming and all that kind of stuff. It was all about the riders. If you have that attitude, like that, if you're, I'm not a rider, so it's like when you film and make them do shit or say, hey, can you huck this, make a jump for them. It's all about them. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
safety and whatever it is, you know what I mean, or whatever they want to come in. Robbie Madison. Robbie Madison is I love that kid. First of all, I love him because he was there when I saw him come up, but I love how creative he is. You know what I mean? He's not okay. How many backflips? How many? There's 50 guys doing fucking hill clicker backflips, right? He's gonna go out there and do something different, and he did, and he did, and he keeps doing it. So I always respect him for that. So he's that's kind of head I like to see on a rider or on certain riders. You know what I mean? But he has his own niche, just like you were saying Twitch. He has his own niche. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Twitch. You know what I'm saying? And he's character. He's character as well. So I don't know. Anyways, so
But his whole persona, we're in a pretty unique industry that would become, only certain people can pull that shit off. Or just being so blatant about weed, like in a sport.
oh yeah,
Because the rest of motocross, motocross racing, those guys pretend like, they're all prohibitionists from the fucking 40s or whatever.
trust me. I live in Florida. I mean, it's legal in California now. Last time I went, I mean, it's things are changing. But I hear what you're saying. Motocross in general was more conservative. It's a conservative sport. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I mean, so I mean, how it's freestyle motocross started was anti-establishment, it was
Right.
anti-racing, and remember, it was a Japanese-run industry. That's conservative. You know what I mean?
Well, but here's my point, okay? Like, so Nate Adams had big deals. He had the Target deal, right? But once he started getting tattoos and stuff, then they bailed on him.
Did they?
Yeah,
I remember because
they
it was Nate
dropped him
Adams.
and they
Nate
kept
Adams. Yeah,
they dropped
he
him and they
was.
kept Dungy.
Got you. Okay, I believe you on that one.
And I'm pretty
And
sure it was
yeah,
because of the tattoos. But Twitch
well,
has
tell you
just
what,
been like, fuck you
Nate,
the entire time and
all the
always
entire
had
time,
good sponsors.
he still does.
Exactly.
He still does.
That's what I
I
mean.
mean,
He's
yeah,
carved his own niche for sure.
no, totally. I mean, just like Matto did, just a couple other. Deegan has. Deegan has. He's done it a lot, just a bunch of different ways. You know what I'm saying? So those are the guys that are the icons of the sport, but they're the ones that don't have to work again. You know what I'm saying? They're the
Right.
one. There's only these that if that maybe not even. You know what I mean? Amount of people that did it the right way for whatever reason, whatever way, whatever it happened, but they all started with all of us together. You know what I mean? And then they chose the right path, or whatever it was. Robbie Madison definitely has a good head. Or he just, and then he has a team around him too. So um, I'm not sure about his team, how fucking cool they are, but you know what I'm saying. That team is the one that sells that whatever's in his head. You know what I mean? So good for him. But I saw Robbie Madison and when I was out in California last, he showed up for my birthday. It was just me and Seth's house. It was late night. It was me and Seth last night, last man standing, and Robbie Madison showed up, and it was fucking cool, man. It was just me, Robbie, and Seth, and for a couple hours we were just us, just hanging out, no one around, just having a few drinks and talking and it was just us, and that was cool, man. That was cool as hell. There was no one pulling on you. No one didn't have to, not say anything. It was just that's cool, because we've done some time together, especially me and Seth. Me and Seth have been like he's my best friend. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's my boy. Matto came in afterwards, but I like Matto a lot. I like his wife. I love his family. The whole thing. But anyways, there's a lot of the OG stuff is there's a lot to do with respect. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, people need to like me and Seth like we're like best friends. We've been through some shit. You know what I mean? We've been through some shit. We've seen it all.
Well, you
We've
guys
seen
have
it all.
gone all over the world together.
We've gone all around the world together, and we've seen. I've dragged him out on my shoulder. I've I've taken him to the hospital. I've sat next to him in the hospital. I fucking I've brought him shit to his bed that he can't move, and he's done the same for me when I busted my ass and yeah. So you know he's always I've carried him places. You know what I'm saying? I've carried him places because he couldn't fucking walk. You know what I mean? And he never had to worry that he wasn't gonna get anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But that's brotherhood, man. And it goes deep with our Crusty crew, Dana, John, Seth, a few other people. You know what I mean? And right, Mike Jones. I love Mad Mike Jones. There's a couple of people we've been deep. We've all been there for each other not on a professional level, but just more and also on a personal level. And because this madness, you know what I mean? There's a lot of craziness that goes on, and you get sucked in, and you gotta have someone carry you out, and we've done that all for each other at one time or another. Yeah, not just once. Yeah, but in a good way, So we're all here. I got a sexy ass zipper down in front of me. Chicks
Yeah.
dig it. They don't even see my tits; they see the zipper. But,
Your pictures froze up, but I imagine you're showing us your zipper.
no zipper. It just it just said that, man. I party, man. You know what I mean? And like those guys, man. Like Seth her right now. Jonesy's got so. I mean, how many injuries? Like just gnarly injuries. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Um, there's guy. Did you notice? Like I've noticed, and I'm not gonna. I'm gonna talk to you about it right now. But all the pads they got now to land on, they got
What, the
pads.
airbags and stuff?
And you know what? God bless them, and that's the way it should be. But man, those guys didn't have pads.
Yeah, I mean, here's the, I
Well,
would
good. I
like
mean,
to have had a
that's gonna
pad too. I
save them,
agree,
right?
but they
It
didn't
doesn't
have them.
lessen how gnarly it is. It's still gnarly, but I mean, fuck, man. It's like when the hockey players used to play with no helmet. You're just like fuck. It was gnarly, right?
Yeah, and I mean, all of us pretty much rode with as little padding as possible. I did it myself. I didn't wear kidney belts, chest protectors, any of that, elbow pads, even hip pads, any of that shit. I just wore some knee pads and pants and boots and gloves and
That's
helmet.
what I do. I wear knit dickies and short sleeves
I
and
know.
knee
Why do we do that? It's way
because
more comfortable for
I don't know.
sure.
When you fall over, I don't know, man. Because I think corporate gear is gay.
Yeah.
Because I ain't wearing corporate gear. So, but that's my reason.
You
But
need
I
some
definitely
flesh gear overalls.
I wear dude. Overalls are more protective than you think, man.
I'm
You
saying
know
you
what I
need
mean?
flesh gear ones.
Well, they did make me ones a long time ago. Define made me ones. It was pretty cool. They even made me cut off ones. They were badass. But you know what they are? When I come to Florida, I wore overalls for first year I was here. It's too fucking hot in Florida to wear overalls, man. So I went to the Dickie short and knee pads. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um,
And what, a t-shirt?
and a t-shirt because
But I feel
I
like
can't.
you don't get a good breeze going through that.
Well, I hope so.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you had the overalls on, but they were
dude,
short, you wouldn't get a
they're
good
hot.
breeze.
No, they're hot and sticky, man. They're hot and sticky. I'm looking over a pair of my old overalls right there, and I'm retired on the overalls, man. Um, that's in the past. There's too many other faggots wearing them right now, doing shit. So fuck them. You know what I mean?
Oh, Bubba 69.
I don't know. I don't know who. I
That's
don't
what.
know. I'm not gonna say any names. I'm just saying that there's OGs and there's fucking people that kind of do shit. You know what I mean? But that's okay. They can do whatever they want. It's free world. You know. So I mean, that's the thing, man. And then no one could ever take that away from us. And just like I said earlier, it's that we created. You know, that's the way it is. And we created as a team. And when you put that many people together, no matter what it is, something's gonna happen. You know what I mean? As ridiculous as we were together sometimes, we created, man. We created a monster, and we also, you know, we made movies, we made TV shows, we made live shows, we entertained, and that's a lot of work. And
That's
it's also, it's also very gratifying to have people tell you that. You know what I mean? It means a lot, man. When people come up to you and say, "Man, I've been watching your movies for 20 years, man, and fucking thank you." And you're like, you know what? Fuck, cool, man. Thank you. We worked hard, man. We worked hard. You know.
yeah.
So
Somebody was actually bringing that
a
up.
pat on the back goes a long way with some of us. So, but anyways, there you have it.
Yeah, Danny D. Wayne says, "Take it as a compliment. You were the first to wear the overalls."
Yeah.
Somebody also, that same guy brought up the Crusty Demons show.
Yeah.
So I mean, everybody that's in freestyle everywhere. I would say, obviously, is at least my age and probably a little bit younger. All knows the Crusties. That stuff made
Yeah.
freestyle what it is for sure.
Yeah. No, it's cool, and it's cool to be a part of a movement that that people know. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm kind of proud, and that's what I've been talking about. I might have been a little bit come offish on some stuff, but we're proud. I mean, we created it, and you know, that was cool, and you can't take that away from us. And you know, uh, we also got to understand that there's new generations coming through. You know what I'm saying? There might not be as many opportunities as there was. You know what I mean? But uh, we still created, and that's it. Period.
Well, I think that the layout's just changed, and it's
Yeah, I mean,
now,
it's the way of the world, man. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's now everybody's making these, jumping these gnarly gaps and stuff for, Instagram
Yeah,
and likes on
yeah.
there and stuff, and it's totally different. I mean, I made my first video in, I guess we released it in 2004 or something, and then I did another one a couple years after that, and by the time I made my second one, videos had already fallen off really hard, and the market
Oh
had already
yeah,
changed, to where it
yeah.
wasn't the way it
Now
was in
you
the
only make a
beginning.
video for promotional value.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Um,
I hear you, man.
but
Yeah,
and you got to look at it as though every video now, or at least freestyle video, in some way, even if they're using a different format or video, which I think a lot of videos have gone, by the way, are really gay music, but they're still trying to live up to what Krusty was. If anybody likes to pretend like
thank you. I mean,
there's any other freestyle, Moto Triple X was cool, but I
dude,
don't.
I love Jordan and Moto Trip. That's the only guy I'll give credit to. And
Yeah,
also, what's his name? I forget his name, but another guy. You had him on your show. I saw him on your
Schweitzer.
thing. Yes. I'm sorry. Sorry, buddy. Um, I give him credit too. You know what I'm saying? We made movies, but not only made movies, we had our own niche, but we were creative in our own ways, but we were cool to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, like Jordan, I, I, I fucking love him. He's good, and you know, they were there. You know what I mean? If not, they were right at the same time too. You know what I mean?
yeah.
He still claims that they were before, but it doesn't matter. It was all the movement at the same time, and he had his own little niche, and he's a punk rocker, so he went punk rock style, and
Yeah.
God bless him.
No, I agree, and I think that they
Schweitzer,
obviously,
that's what a name I was thinking of. Schweitzer. So I'm sorry, the
yeah,
other one, Schweitzer. I do respect him as well. Sorry.
they I don't know. I would say definitely those two. It's weird. Terra Firma was in there, but I think Terra Firma was more racing.
Yeah.
Um,
And then that was pretty good. And then the guy that did Terra Firma was I think
Adam Barker. Well, Troy
Adam Burke.
Troy Adamitis or Adamitis
Adamitis, right?
and Adam Barker.
Well, so you see that?
I can't. You're frozen up. You've been frozen.
Fresno Smooth, brother.
Oh, yeah. I,
OG.
I had
In
him
the
on here too. I had Barker
I
on.
know, I know. I saw that. I saw that. I saw
Oh,
that.
there you go.
Barker.
You came back in. There you go. Yeah.
See that right there was a whole nother level
It.
of you know, being creative.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I mean?
sure.
The first time that we did a full length feature, had to act and all the uh, that
Standalone
was
movie, standalone motocross movie. That's the best one. Period.
yeah, it full on, but it had a little bit of everything, little just cool
A
B
love
roll,
story.
love story, just man, it's fucked up. That's why I'm actually. I know that they were trying to. He's been talking about doing Fresno too, or a different name, but
Baco.
yeah, Baco, and yeah, right. He told you that.
Yep.
And he's gonna work on it. It's no hurry. I know it was getting some steam last year, but he had to do some other things, and there's also some other people own the name to this, so we gotta work through that. No hurry. And just do a sequel that'll just blow everyone's another full. It'll probably be bigger, bigger, a full length
Yeah.
feature,
Here's the
real
thing.
movie.
The
Yeah,
fact that, and I mean, I guess it was. I think the market is more ready for a movie like that. He
I think
was
so
so
too.
far before
Yeah.
his time that the motocross industry freaked the fuck out.
Even Fox didn't want anything to do with
Dude,
it.
Fox, okay, so here's my story on that. I got the Fox catalog that day in the mail, walked inside, tried to order the video because you know you have to order the video as soon as you get it because that's how you see anything
Yeah.
at this time is VHS. So as soon as I
Right.
walk in, I'm like, this movie looks badass. It's got all these guys in it. I'm ordering it. So I call, and the girl's like, it's discontinued. And I go,
Those fucking,
like,
hey, those fucking faggots.
I'm like, I
I
literally
don't
just
care.
walked
I don't
in.
care what they think of me.
It just showed. It just showed up in my mailbox, and I just walked in with it literally 10 minutes ago. And then she's like, "Yeah, it's discontinued."
Yep.
I'm like,
Yeah,
"Fuck."
that's what the dickheads told her to say,
Yeah,
and
I'm
that's what they
sure.
did. But anyways, that was a part of it too. You learned that was a whole lesson learned as well, and that was another growing of our sport in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think now what
Parker,
I'm saying is now
yeah.
I think that the way that the anything goes, I think that a movie like that would catch on. People would get it. Whereas,
No, I totally agree with it. And I had meetings with Barker the last year or so when I went out to LA, and he was on it. Barker's on it, and he's grown as a director, producer, writer. He's mainly a writer. He's grown, and everything he told me just blew me away. You know what I mean? Like it's going to the next level. You know what I mean? Um, and also the funding, and people have met people. They've learned. They worked in the industry, so to do a sequel is not out of the question. It's not, it's not, out of reach. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen, and we're just gonna have to make it more mainstream. Like not just the Seth and Bubba and a couple other people. There's gonna be some other people and a different, things that it's kind of grown as a script.
Oh,
From
I
a
read the whole first.
Yeah, but it's changed. It's grown into a it's got to be more mainstream now, but it's still funny as hell. Um, and and I'm gonna back Barker 100% because I just love doing. I mean, God, working for that guy, man, we got so many stories filming this movie. Just like him slapping me in the face, like with the cameras off, so to get me in character. Just bam. What the fuck? Just to get me angry. You know what I mean? Like that kind of shit.
So
And
you were like, he would slap you, and
you
then he
don't do
was
that in
like,
Hollywood, man. You fucking slap someone in the face.
and then he goes, "All right, your line is,
Yeah,
well, his name damn sure isn't gonna be, or you, it's gonna be
yeah.
Bubba Junior. He's gonna be proud I'm his papa."
I'm proud. I know just
What do
what
you say? It's sure not gonna be no Blade Flanagan
Flanagan
Junior.
Jr. Yeah, man. See that whole script grew and morphed as we did it. That was cool.
I
So
say so
I
many
love being
lines
creative like
from
that.
that to people all the time, and they have no idea what I'm talking about.
No,
But
this is old school, man.
doesn't
You
matter.
know, and kids don't know what this, and they wouldn't even understand it because I mean, even half the cameos in this, like Mike Ness and all these other people, the kids won't know anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe some, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know. Um. Anyways, it's just this. It just it's time. It's time. You're right. It's time. And it's good to have Barker, man. Barker, I love him to death, man. I fucking love me and him. Just like we can have fun in an insurance seminar, man. Me and him, we just fucked up, man. It's all there is to it. Me and him and Seth, we last couple meetings we had production meetings at Seth's house, and we just get fucking just wasted, and everything just goes out of hand, and yeah, I don't know, but it's just good hanging out with that guy, and I would love to work with him again, for sure,
Well, hopefully that
and create
happens.
with him, and create, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's gonna happen. Watch, it's gonna happen. And I just talked to him a couple of minutes ago. I mean, not a couple days ago. Yeah. And then when I was looking at your people that were on your show, I saw saw his name. I was like, yeah, Parker. Yeah, because he's not the guy that does all these shows, but
No.
he's
Well,
funny. He's
so
funny, huh? He's funny,
when he was doing M80, I did
right?
a bunch
Yeah.
of segments for him. So I had a camera guy, and
Oh, I got you.
then I owned FMX East in like
Right.
throughout 2000s, and so I had a bunch of riders. So we started. My camera guy basically submitted some footage of one of the videos I was making to Adam. He was looking for footage for a extreme sports show or whatever, which ended up being
Right.
M80.
Right.
So then we started making segments for him. Basically, they were like, okay, you gotta, do something nobody's done, and we'll give you, if you can come up with something nobody else has done, then we'll give you the shot at the 8 other segments. So we
Okay.
made pegs for my dirt bike, and I grinded a rail, and that's how we got
What?
the whole deal for the
Wait.
to do the show.
Sweet. See, he's cool like that, man.
Yeah,
It's cool hanging out. He's a cool guy to hang out with, and it's definitely, when you're in a creative mode, it's a good guy. That's the thing about being creative, like Krusty and all that stuff. It's cool to be in the studio with Freeman and all that stuff. Not, minus all the bullshit, but just creativity. Hang out with Barker. Hang out with Barker, and like, just like he's like, fuck, man. He's one of those guys like in Hollywood that, like, one of those. There's so many people like that that are just, they gotta think of shit. They always gotta come up with shit, and it's cool. You know what I mean? It's funny, and but that's how you make a living. You know what I mean? That's what you do, and that you got to be creative, and then you got to shoot it. So yeah, it's cool because he's a writer. Barker's a writer at first. Like, that's that's what's cool. That he puts everything down, and then you got to take it from the paper, put it on screen. You know what I mean? So that whole putting it on paper thing is very artsy fartsy.
yeah, he's probably
I couldn't do
more.
it. I couldn't do it. I could just sit here and riddle, but
Yeah,
I couldn't put it on paper.
he's probably the most traditional.
Totally. But he went to school for that kind of stuff, and he knows, like, yeah, to write scripts. The whole he does it right. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's professional, even though we're not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's probably the only one that could pull off a full length type of movie for motocross and have it not be motocrossed.
No, no, and then yeah, yeah,
Just
man.
gay as fuck.
Who could explain Fresno smooth, man? I don't
Uh,
know. To people these days, and they're just like, I don't even know if little kids will even get it now. But fuck, it was man, it was good. It was brilliant, brilliant.
do you have? Is that copy you got there? That's a DVD, was it? Was
I
it?
found it in my garage a couple years ago when I was cleaning it out,
But that's a
and
DVD. That can't be the original version with like
no,
Metzger.
no, it's got the extra. See, it's
It's
got the
got
DVD extra.
yeah, but like
That means it has a Bubba pucumentary on it.
and Metzger banging the chick on the
Yeah,
washing
yeah.
machine.
It's this is the one to have right here
Oh damn.
because it has the extra DVD, which is kind of cool. I love that they didn't do it for all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it got re-released a couple different times. You know what I mean?
Right, I know. Well, so I had a first version that was bootlegged off of somebody I
Right.
knew that had gotten
But
one.
you can Google it right or YouTube it right now and watch the whole movie. You know
Yeah,
what I
but
mean?
it's still minus a couple of
I,
things.
I don't know.
There was Metzger humping on
Washing
the
machine.
washing machine, and then there was like two other scenes where people were doing drugs or something that ended up getting clipped out of it.
Yeah.
But I had an original. I had not. I don't even think it was original, but I had like a closer to original version, and then I got another version because I lost that one, and I ended up getting another
Yeah.
one, and I was like, "There's shit cut out of here. What's going on?"
Yeah, it's funny if yeah, it happens that way, but that's the way it is, man. If you lived it, then it's all cut out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Because there's so much, yeah, so much went down, and that's another lifetime experience that I got to have, and that has to be, from being Bubba and the Crusty Demons and stuff like that. So creating in Crusty Demons, I got from Adam and Troy. I got to learn how to create and act a little bit. You know what I mean? Um, and be fun and whatever, because we created that shit. You know what I mean? Like even on the set, man, you read your script and you do this and stuff, but you still had to create, and things change. They morph into things change, but we had such a good crew that everyone could pitch in on your creativity. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's all about your people around you. It's about the people around you. You know, it's all about your team, man.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how you create. It's all about the create. So, John and Dana, man, we're and Scotty Avalos. I love him too. I love Scotty. Um, um, you know, when you spend time with people in an editing booth, you are bonded for life. Bonded, bonded. No one could ever break us up, ever, ever. So it's like that's why I'm so proud of being in that crew and how we created. Um, no one would understand, you know, because and there's a lot of ridiculous, there's a lot of whatever. It's just man, we die for each other. Die. That's cool. That's cool, man.
That is cool.
Yeah, you know, and but I'm an East Coast boy, so I'm in Florida. You know what I mean? And I went to last time I went to LA. Went for my birthday, me and Seth's birthday, and I just went for 4 days and came back. I'm like, I couldn't wait to get back to Florida, man. I mean, I love California and all that stuff, and I spent a lot of time there and a lot of family and friends. But you know, this is home, man. You know what I mean? And I can't do that anymore, at least for a long period of time. You know, even if we go on a crusty tour, it's still only 4 to 6 weeks of your life. You know, then you come home.
Yeah.
uh,
Are you riding now?
yeah, I haven't ridden. I had a little crash. Actually, a year ago this weekend, I had me a pretty bad crash at a race where I busted my ribs, I had a blood clot in my lungs, and had some complications because I'm diabetic. So that hurts the healing. You know, so it's different from when I crashed back in the day. So it's all about getting old, fat and old. You know what I mean? So I'm having some complications with that. But what I'm doing is I went and raced the World Vets in Glen Helen in California in November, and right now I have a ticket to go to Mammoth Mountain Motocross in June. So I'm just going to pick a couple big races and go out there and just put around in the fat old man class. You know what I mean?
Nice.
And have a good time and see a lot of my friends and a lot of my industry friends as well. You know what I mean? Because it's a big industry race. The World Vets is going to be my yearly homage to Glen Helen in November. I went 2 years in a row, and I'm going to go every year, and it's the vet motocrossers from all around the world, and it's a good time. It's a good time, but it's me. You know what I mean? I'm a vet motocrosser, and that's what I do. I can't go out to the local like the Yoho series. I just I don't have a bike right now, and it's just borrowing, and I get hurt. You know what I mean? Like if I go out there every weekend, I'm gonna get hurt. I'm old, fat, and broken down, man. That's the way it is. And yeah, so I like going to the races, but I can't do it. I can't do it physically anymore. So that's what I want to stick to. Right now.
Nice. I
Let's go
may.
to the Big Red.
I'm probably gonna come down to one or two of Yoho's races. So
Do it, man. We have a good time. It's I have to go to support. I think. Well, he's kind of mad at me because I didn't go to the last one.
tell
Anyways,
him to get over it. Tell him to suck it up. Stop being a little kid.
he will. He will. I just leave him alone. I don't talk shit. Though. I don't talk shit on him. So, anyways, I'm gonna hit his next one, and yeah, I mean, you got to go support your boys. You got to, and everyone that goes to this I4MX series, it's just we're family. You know what I mean? And that means a lot to me. It's just like what I've been telling you the last hour is that there's a family thing to what we do. And motocross as a sport is a family sport. Well, if you have your friends and family going places every weekend, then that feels good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's what I do, and that's what we grew up doing, and it's the way it is, man. You know, we're motocrossers, you know, the dirt bikers, you know, and movie makers, yeah. So, and alcoholics, and ex-drug addicts, and womanizers, and
You can't say that now.
no,
Everybody will be turning Bubba in.
no, no, I'm good, man. I didn't even finish my drink I made with you. Like
Oh,
but it got me talking, didn't it?
yeah.
That's all. That's all I want to do. No, man, I go to bed early. I wake up early. I like to eat. You know, that's my thing, man. You know, that's that's probably the hardest thing for me, is being a diabetic. And you know, if I want to get high, I just go to the candy bar. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So life's changed for me, but it's good. Life is good. That's for sure. So I've been through a lot, man. And I have lifelong friends from it. All right, and like I said before, that when you create with people, that you have a bond. No one can break that bond ever, ever. We did a lot of movies, man. We did a lot of movies. So
I know it. You helped to inspire a whole industry, so
well, we
there's
started,
something to be
yeah.
saying there.
And a couple things derived from it. You know, freestyle motocross, crusty tours, Fresno Smooths, you know, that kind of thing. And that's a good feeling, you know. And it's cool to be creative, and it's cool to have your creativity showcased and remembered and remembered. I mean, you're talking about, we go to Australia, New Zealand, all kinds of places, and people, they know who you are, man, and they respect it. They grew up on you. They do this, and they respect you, and you give it back, and you look them in the eyes, you shake their hand, and you say thank you. You know what I mean? And that means a lot.
Yeah, I didn't do obviously what you guys did, but I have throughout my life had a couple of people either show up that knew me from videos, internet videos we did,
Oh, right
or
on. It's a good feeling, isn't it?
yeah, or just people that I've gotten into shows, you know, that
Sure.
turned around and
Yeah.
said that to me, and it's the same, you know, it's not on the same scale, but like you're
Right.
saying, it feels good for somebody to actually recognize that, you know, you helped them, or you know, or that you inspired them in some way.
Right. No, that's cool, and it's a good feeling, isn't it? You know. So, anyways, there you
Anyways,
go. Well, I'm sure, I don't know if you got as deep as you wanted to get,
yeah,
but I rambled.
no, it's good.
You know?
We've had some guys on here the whole time. They stuck it out through the off the air for a couple minutes and everything. So
Yeah, that was cool. Thank you, everyone. Sorry, I don't know what happened there, but it's
you,
I'll check it out after when I hang up with you. But you know, everyone that's been watching and stuff like that and is interesting. I hope it was entertaining to you, because I mean, what we did is what we created over so many years. Like I said, it's been 21 years now, since the beginning, and as for Krusty, and what has come from it, like we were talking about. But you guys inspire the people that are watching this, the people that dug this, the people that are listening to we ramble, stupid shit, and whatever we say. Um, you know, that means a lot, man. That means a lot. It means the world to me. It means the world to my friends. I know that. So I thank you for having me on and talking. I mean, I guess you didn't really talk. You're the actually, you know, you made me make a cocktail, so that's what started it. So you put the premix in.
that's right.
I didn't even drink it, but it did just enough. So, but all
Well,
good.
I'm gonna come down there and we're gonna have you, me, and Yoho are gonna have some drinks in person,
Okay,
and we'll
no
bullshit.
worries. No worries. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you calling me up and asking me to do this, and Yoho too. Thank you, Yoho, because Yoho, I have to give him credit, because he's the one to turn me on to you. So yeah.
Perfect.
So I appreciate it. Okay, thank you for your time, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you, Bubba. It's been awesome.
Okay. Can I and write me with any details or
Yeah, I'll send you the links
tell me
once I
yeah. Okay.
once I put these up on YouTube and stuff. I'll send you the links to them.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Later.
God bless.